Good day, Internet. It's Speed8, back with another DCS MIG-21 quick guide, and today we're going to talk over the subject of the RSBN, which is I'm going to say it's probably the primary navigation instrument you're going to be encountering in the MiG-21. This is a simple guide, and I'm only going to go over the quite basic features. The RSBN is, let's go to quickly pause it here. The RSBN, if for anyone who is aviation savvy or has played a lot of simulators, is an ADF coupled with the DME. For people who don't know what an ADF is, or DME, it is a station finder. It's like on here on the NPP gauge here where the course line is, it will tell the course line on the NPP where a particular station you've tuned in is. So it's like a radio that would physically point towards the radio tower if you told it to do so, if that's a good way of describing it. So what this allows you to do, it allows you to fly and navigate in bad weather from station to station. Now, if I interpret this correctly, it is in fact an NDB, so it's quite good for medium to long-range navigation. However, in DCS, it is severely limited by the mountainous terrain, so you'll probably find this only partially useful. I know I just said it was primary one, and it is, but what you can do is you fly at a high altitude to go over the mountains and get sight on it, because it is in fact it will bend around mountains, but line of sight will be better. And in the DCS manual, you'll find the altitudes you'll need to pick up the station. So first things first, let me unpause and I'll get you the numbers. Now, if you hit right control and up arrow, this brings you to the keyboard. Right control, left, right arrows moves you up and down the keyboard. Let's pause it there. Now, what we have here are all the airfields in DCS as it is, with the airfield names and corresponding RSBN numbers. So today we're going to go to Kubeti from where we are now, and then do a short nav to Batumi. So what we need to do is put on the RSBN channel 15 to Kubeti, and when we arrive at Kubeti, go to Batumi and turn to channel 16. Now the instrument interface for this is this little black panel here. So it's got two sections, also two key parts. The dial here, which is the navigational part, and the dial here, which is the landing part. Now, the RSBN is actually linked to the onboard ILS, which is called the PRMG, which you can flick between the two, toggle, here, right next to the HUD adjustments. So you can see here, there's nav, there's LDG. LDG is landing, and VA is obviously navigation. You use this same notebook here, and it gives you all the runway information. So the runway at Kubeti, of course in meters, because it's Russian, is 18 meters above sea level. One-way direction 70 magnetic. If you're ICAO compliant, it's runway 07. The length is 2,400 meters, and the RSBN or NDB code is COB with the corresponding Morse code. Now the Morse code you can see here will be blaring in the background as we approach both places. The reason why I keep it on and why we do it in real flying as well is so that we know if something's gone wrong with the station. So at the very first, we turn it on and we look at the Morse code and we confirm is what we're hearing. So if you're hearing something else or it doesn't match, you've got the wrong station, because the stations in DCS are reasonably close together physically and on paper. So Kubeti is in fact right next to Batumi. I think they're 40 kilometers apart. And if you put the wrong dial in, because sometimes you just glance, you don't look at it properly, you end up flying to the wrong place, which can be a problem. And also means that if you fly out of range, or if you're not picking it up and if you're getting some sort of error, because again, in real life these things happen. I doubt it's more than DCS, but just for the sake of building good habits, you keep it on. So I'm going to unpause and take away this thing. So what we wanted, Kubeti was 15, so let's put 15. Now we'll give it a second, turn up the volume, see if it picks it up. There we go, it's picked up. Now, I've deliberately not put anything in the second one because we're not doing a landing today. So it's absolutely not necessary. So, once the course line here, you can see where my mouse is now suddenly changed direction. It's now pointing towards, let's just say 090, 90 degrees. So let's just follow that. Now, remember earlier I said there's also the DME, the distance measuring equipment portion of the RSBN. Now that's very simple. There's a little number dial here that tells you how far you are from the station. So, the station now, on the coastline, is directly ahead of us, and it is 34 kilometers directly ahead of us. You touch my radar, it's just this. It's a good habit. So, I'm gonna push the power. Let's get some speed, because I don't want to be sitting here for all evening, waiting to get to station to station. Now, once we get over the station, this course line will in fact do a 180, because as we pass over it, pass over the station, what we call station passage, it will turn around, signifying that it is in fact we've possibly crossed the station. Now, if you want to make sure you've got the right station, let's get back to the notepad and we compare what we're hearing to what we're seeing here. Let's give it a second. There we go. So that's the same sound. Well, the dots are shorter and the dashes are longer. So you just listen to it. Now I'm not going to look outside. I'm just going to go fly, look inside, and fly the instruments from station to station. So we've got 24 kilometers to go. 21 kilometers to go, sorry. I'll push the power, and I'll wait for station passage. Now, how is this useful for anyone flying DCS? Well, if you ever go into a map with terrible weather, or if you feel like setting yourself a challenge, you want to hop from station to station to station, waypoint to waypoint to waypoint, this is useful. Because this will let you know, if you fly over a station, that you've positively identified you've flown over that station. So when this dial spins around to 180 and I have chief station passage, I know I've definitely crossed Cupoletti. Then I can change my heading to channel number 16 to go to Putusi in this case. The weather obviously right now is perfectly fine, so there's no need. But if you ever want to challenge yourself, do some instrument flying in DCS, this is a good way of doing it. Okay, so we're only a couple of kilometers to go. Now, one of the limitations, I should mention this while we're doing this, is that it is a line of sight based a wave it sends out, and so if you're below the mountains, you obviously won't pick it up. So you need to be of a certain altitude, and in fact, it gets weaker over distance, obviously, like most waves do. And so now you can see it's slightly to our right. I'm trying to chase it, but there's no need because we're really close. Chasing it now is completely pointless as we get closer. Now when we get to about 1, I'll look out the window. And it's got a 2, so we've definitely passed up, and the course line now is going towards the back, so. And there we go, we're over the station. So let's go to our next station, Putusi, which was 16. I'll give it a second again to pick up the station. The course line is now moved. So, change your heading, follow the course line. Now to go back to what I was saying, once it doesn't work in mountain range, and the further you are, it needs to pick you up on what is basically line of sight. So the further you are, the higher you need to be. But also at the same time, as you saw there, the higher you are, the greater the cone of confusion. That is what they call it in flight school. Now the waves go outwards on an omnidirectional. I don't know what it's called now, but it goes out in all directions. Well, it's sort of true. It goes in all directions, except not up, because it emits them outwards, not upwards. So as you go above it, and the higher you go, the bigger this cone gets. So you want to be kind of close, otherwise you end up what I did was just sort of. It's not important. It's not a big deal if you're just going from point to point. So I have my cameras moving a lot. I'm kind of gesturing a lot. I really don't need to. Obviously, it's on YouTube. So now let's point the nose along the coastline. 210. Again, I'll look down. I'll mostly be looking down. I won't be looking up. And once that is station passage, I'll go to third person and check if we're on target. Lovely view. So how long have we got to go? We've got 29 kilometers to run. Now, as I said earlier, this is coupled to an ILS system. So what you can do is use this to navigate to a place in bad weather or in good weather, flick the nav mode, landing mode, and then land the plane. It will use the ILS system here, and it will show. I'll just give you a quick run here. This when you put on landing mode, these two red things come up. That means it's not picking up anything, and everything will be sort of not working, which is fine. But we're going to focus on that navigation today, so let's do it that way. I've already got to run, so I'm slightly off course. I think we've passed over it. Have we passed over it? No, we haven't. Course line is still ahead of us. Now this is quite a good feature if you're lost and the weather's bad and you know there's a aerodrome nearby. Quite a good system to get around. And it's quite a long navigation. One important thing I forgot to tell you is when you have this navigation on, when you first boot it up, you want to make sure this is on the up position, because on the down position, that is the arc mode. And the arc mode is for a different form of navigation. I think, if I'm correctly, it's for quite long range navigation. So you really want it on the up mode, make sure it's on up for RSBN, and have the channels right. The important thing is to make sure you're on the right channel, because it's quite easy, because of the angle you're looking at it. Sometimes a 16 can be 15 and mistakes can be made. So we're now 1 kilometer away. Oh, sorry. 3 kilometers away. And we're passing over now. And let's check again. And yes, we've just passed over the station. So the course plan's behind us now. We're gaining distance away. So that's the RSBN in a nutshell. At its basic. You can use this for more advanced methods. I believe the RSBN is also capable of being a VOR. For general simming for DCS, you don't need that kind of level of detail, unless you're a hardcore simmer. But if you're a hardcore simmer, you're probably not playing this game for navigation, flying around Kubernetes. You've probably got FXX, you've probably got BMS. But should you so wish, put in the comments, and I will probably do a VOR navigation on this below. Or if you are wanting to do it yourself, it's in fact in the manual. But I use this as usual to do a quick guide, so Joe Everyman can quickly pick up the sim and learn everything basic to fly the MiG-21. So, until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you next video.